Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 25 updates and spoilers. This one's a doozy. I hope you're all ready. I forgot how hectic it is coming back from being off on a Sunday. My brain is like ready to explode. But before that happens, I want to thank our super chatters from last time because that is a fantastic way to support our channel. So Dan Berry, Julia Mello, Laura Greer, Astro Joe, Mary Ellen L, Timothy, and Samuel Johnson. Thank you all so much for your super chats on Saturday. We really, really do appreciate it. And that brings me to another great way to support the channel. Woo! Our house guests of the day are George Lane the Fourth, aka Gio Epe, Robin S. Yesme. Oh, Lammy's back. And we want to wish a very special happy 21st birthday to Hannah Stewart. Yay! Happy birthday, Hannah. And thank you again, George and Robin, all so much for your support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so, so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. Okay. So when we left off the other day, this feels like a million years ago, the house guests were playing in the Power Veto competition, the first POV of the season. So we know the host was Sari, and the players, we've got the HOH Riley, we've got 2 nominees, Felicia and Kirsten, and then we had 3 extra players because we're not in Canada anymore, baby. 6 total players. So we've got Heisum, Blue, and Cameron. I know I said the other day that Bowie was playing, but it was Cameron, so my apologies. But going into this, Kirsten was very much in danger if she doesn't win the POV here. And I have to say, I feel really bad for her. Like, yes, she did mess up and overplay, but I just feel like she's the weak one scapegoat, and like everybody is just like counting her out. It's a sucky situation to be in, so I feel bad for her. But again, like I acknowledge she definitely made some big mistakes. Anyway, there was a lot of paranoia going into this competition, and we talked about this on Saturday. Izzy was getting really paranoid that Riley would backdoor Sari if the power veto was used. We know that that's not the case. If the veto was used, Riley would have put Luke up on the block. At least that's what she was saying at the time. Who knows what would have really happened. But keep in mind, that morning, Izzy found out about the Family Style Alliance from Jared. And just a refresher, Family Style is that alliance of 8 people. It is from Riley's side of the house. So it's Riley, Jag, Blue, Cameron, Matt, America, Corey, and Jared. I mean, if Jared's in your alliance, Sari and Co are going to find out about it, but they don't know that. It is huge that the other side of the house already knows about this alliance the morning after it was formed. Yikes. So, upon hearing that Corey is officially aligned, what are you doing, little girl? Upon hearing that Corey is officially aligned with Riley, Izzy was like, oh crap, maybe Corey has been trying to convince Riley to target Sari because Corey knows all about Sari's Survivor career. He knows how strong of a player she is, how good she is. Factor in also, Izzy was worried that Riley was buttering Sari up by picking her to host the competition. All sorts of like little things factoring in and creating this paranoia. So Izzy and Sari were both getting worked up, thinking that Sari could potentially be backdoored. And Izzy started talking about it with Heisum, who was playing in this POV competition. And Heisum initially was thinking he wanted to take Felicia off the block because he is a big fan, as we all are. But now, hearing that Sari could be in danger, Heisum is like, no, I'm not going to use that POV if I win. I don't want to put Sari at risk. Plus, everybody knows that Felicia's going to be safe against Kirsten up on the block. Nobody wants Felicia to go. So it turns out that Heisum did win the power veto. Woo! Okay, I thought someone was at the door. And he is planning to keep the nominations the same. We're going to get into all that. But let's talk about what was going on post POV competition. Sari and Izzy are pretty convinced that there was, in fact, a plan to backdoor Sari. We know that that's not true. But apparently, Riley did not perform well in this POV competition, or like she was doing well and then she like slowed down. So it looked really sus. And a lot of people were thinking that Riley threw it. So this is just fueling that paranoia about the back door even more, because they're like, well, I guess Riley wanted to throw it because she wanted one of the nominees to win or somebody else. Like she didn't want to be the one to have to do all the work, right? So Sari lets Jared know about this backdoor theory, and Jared is skeptical. um, he's like, I'm pretty sure that Riley would have put Luke up if the veto was used. Like that's what she kept telling me. That's what she was telling everybody that, right? She was telling a lot of people, too many people in my opinion. But anyway, Jared now wants to target the heads of the family style alliance. So he really wants to win this next HOH, and he wants to go after some of the big dogs. He's thinking like Riley, Jag, Corey, they're all huge threats. And if you take one of them out, that alliance is going to be hurting. So Jared also tells Sari, like, I think Izzy needs to get it together a little bit. She's getting sloppy. This whole backdoor thing is like, but also Izzy started talking game with Jared in front of Heisum. And at the time, Heisum did not know how close Jared is to Sari and Izzy and like that whole side of the house. Like he's not supposed to be in the know about that. So it was very odd to him to see Izzy just like blurting out game stuff to Jared. Oops. Yeah, that's a slip for sure. In some other news, there was a potential new alliance forming. So remember the other night when the family style side of the house was forming and Heisum was like watching to see who was going in and out of that HOH room, very observant. Well, he was getting nervous seeing all these people together and realizing, oh crap, they're making some freaking gigantic half the house alliance. So he wanted to get something going for himself. So that night when Blue came down from the HOH room, Heisum brought up the idea to her about starting an all queer alliance with the two of them and Izzy. So Blue is seeing this as an opportunity to have Heisum and Izzy as a little thing on the side for her. You know, she's pretty loyal to that new 8 that just formed, the Family Style Alliance. But she's like, oh, if I could have Heisum and Izzy on the side, that's great. So she does not want this to be a negative for her with the big alliance. So she was telling all of her allies, including Jared, about her plans to go forward with this alliance before actually committing to it. So she was telling everybody, I want Heisum to be the last person to go before we get down to our final 8. Yeah, I'm sure like everyone's going to be totally cool with that. Like no one else is going to want their side alliance to be the last one left. I mean, really. But anyway, Blue, like I said, she spilled all of these plans to all of her allies, including Jared. So you know that this is going to get back to the other side. And it did. This alliance is dead in the water because Izzy knows via Jared that Blue is with the other side. She's not serious about this queer alliance. So let's talk about, we're going to get to that more later because it comes up again, but let's talk about Saturday night. Saturday night, and I ain't got nobody. Well, Felicia and Sari were chatting with Riley, and Felicia's getting reassured by Riley. You're going to be safe against Kirsten. You're going to be staying up on the block, but you don't have to worry. Everyone wants to keep you. It should be a unanimous vote. So Felicia's like, all right, I'm trusting you, Riley. And then she asks Riley straight up, so who are you aligned with? She is just going for it. Yeah, she's not messing around. So I heard in another conversation, I think Felicia was talking to Nicole at the time, and she was telling Mimi, sometimes I'm just going to ask people questions like that just straight up, because sometimes when people are caught off guard, they'll just spill. And guess what? Riley just spilled. She didn't say that she was aligned with these people, but she did mention like, oh, I'm comfortable with, or I like, or I feel good with Jag, Corey, Blue, Jared. Girl, what are you doing? Riley is just like all too ready to spew all of this information about her game. And then later, when things start falling apart and people know things, she's just like, how do they know that? What? Like, she doesn't even remember doing it. What? But she does say it's still early. I'm still feeling everyone out. She's tried to make an alliance with pretty much 3/4 of the house at this point. But anyway, a little later, Izzy and Jared have a game chat. And oh, hello. And Izzy apologizes for her slip up earlier of trying to talk game with Jared in front of Heisum. She's like, that's my bad. I own that. I'm sorry. I will do better moving forward. She was also talking about how she's pretty convinced that there was a plan in place to backdoor Suri. But it is important to note that she is now referring to Suri as moms when she's talking to Jared, which is like fun and all, but like how long until she slips up and calls Suri moms to somebody else? And then everybody's like, wait, what? Why are you calling her that? So that's iffy. I don't know. That's very risky. But anyway, Izzy and Jared are both starting to think maybe they can pull Corey away from that family style alliance and over to their side. I thought they wanted him out next. Like, what? I guess they just want to like make sure if he wins HOH that they'll be good with him. But yeah, this is a little weird. Also, Heisum is not going to want to work with Corey. Heisum can't stand Corey. Like, it's a lot. He's pretty much obsessed at this point. It's a lot. But anyway, maybe he knows somebody like Corey in real life, and it's just not working for him. But anyway, they would feel a lot safer if Corey was on their side, and it would also take away a number from the other side. Okay, so Izzy and Jared both put in some work with Corey separately. Of course, Izzy is playing up the survivor angle, like, oh my god, Suri's here, that's so cool. What? Jared is playing up the angle that they are at the bottom of the family style alliance. They are kind of expendable, right? I mean, they're right though. They're not in either of those two higher tiers, right? You have the crowd control, which is 3 people. You have handful, which is 5 people, and then they're part of family style. Like, they don't know about those other tiers, but I'm sure they can tell that those other people in the alliance are tighter and they're like late additions. So Corey's like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but we're still closer to that group than the people who are like actually outside of the alliance. So he's saying like, we can be protected by that group for now. They have a lot of strong competitors, and I have to say that is something that side has going for them. Unfortunately, Suri's side, I just don't know if they have the same competition strength behind them, but you never know. There's all sorts of different competitions, and I think there's a lot of like mentally strong people on Suri's side. But anyway, Corey says we're probably not all going to make it to the final 8 together with family style, but they can at least protect us for now. They can get us into the game a bit. So then they start talking about working with Izzy, Suri, and Felicia, but like down the line as a potential escape route. All right. So then Jared is asking Corey, what's the deal with Suri? Like, I've never really watched Survivor, so I don't know that much about her. That's her son. Okay, but anyway, Corey says Suri is a top 10 Survivor player. I mean, she might be a little higher than top 10, but he says she's really smart. She's not a liar, which is great in a game like this, right? She's very loyal, and all of her allies always make it to the end and win, right? She gets cut before getting that far because her allies know that she could win. Hello, are you joining us today? So then it's just funny to me because Corey is describing Suri and her gameplay style, to Suri's son, but also he's describing Suri basically to her face on Jared's body. Corey does not seem to be picking up on that though. Yeah, it's just crazy, especially when Jared is wearing like a bandana or something. I just see Suri, right? It's wild. So Corey also mentions, if Suri makes it to the final 3, she's probably going to struggle with those final competitions So, could be good to have her around, who knows? But Jared seems pretty happy to hear all of this about Corey's thoughts on Suri. And he's thinking maybe Corey isn't targeting moms after all. I mean, he might be though. Just that DR the other day, how Corey was like, I want to beat Suri. Who knows at what point in the season he would try to make that move, but it's coming at some point. Anyway, Big Brother opened up the backyard for the first time Saturday night, and Felicia fell into the hot tub by accident. She pulled the Jerry, but she's okay, which is good. But her microphone was not. First, she dropped a microphone in the toilet. I think she dropped one on the ground and broke it. Now this. So at the time, 3 busted microphones. Oh my God, production must be really annoyed with that. If it was anybody else, they'd be out of there. But because it's Felicia, she can get away with it. All right. So let's talk about Sunday morning. Jared and Heisum had a little check-in. They've been chatting a bit more and they've been vibing. They've been getting along with each other. Jared tells Heisum, I really like you and I want to work with you. And Heisum is into this. So it's kind of like bridging that gap now, because before it was awkward that Jared is undercover so cool with like everybody that Heisum is working with, but Heisum didn't know that, right? So that kind of solves that problem a little bit. Also on Sunday morning, the house guests got all glammed up for their swimsuit photo shoot. I wish we could see this. We got to see it during Over the Top, and it was a lot of fun. I don't see the big deal why this is blocked, because it's not like there's any secrets coming out really. But yeah, they were all strutting around in their bathing suits after. Go off, have fun with it. So then once the fun of the photo shoot wore off, we were off to the races with the game chat. Oh my God. Yesterday was insane, especially for Sunday. I feel like usually on Sundays, a lot of people are chilling out. They get the backyard, so they're just hanging out in the pool and stuff. But like, ooh, girl, this game chat was a lot. So let's start things off here. We've got Izzy and Red chatting in the comics bedroom. Lammy, come here. She said, no, I'm cleaning my feet. Okay. Izzy and Red chatting in the comics bedroom. They agree that their core is the 2 of them, Suri and Heisum. I mean, that's Red's core anyway. Izzy's core seems to be Suri, Jared, and Felicia. She's definitely, they're pulling Red in. They're trusting him. They're feeling him out. They like him. But yeah, he's not like in their super tight core yet. So Izzy says, I want you to know this. I don't really trust Blue. I just want to share that with you so you can have it on your radar. Make sure you don't say anything important to her. So she says, if Blue wants to talk to me, that's fine. She can initiate that, but I am not going to be seeking her out or like giving her any info. All right. So then Red shares, I have something going on with Jag. Like he was much more open with me before, but now he's not really sharing with me. So I wanted you to know that. Yeah, because Red is not a part of family style and Jag is off on the other side of the house now. So, it's good to pick up on things like that. But anyway, Izzy says our next targets should be Corey, Riley, and Jag. Corey is very smart and a weasel. This is, again, I thought she was trying to pull him in, but I guess it's just like she's trying to pull him in the case of Corey winning HOH, just to make sure they're protected there. But she still wants him out of here. She says Riley is the ringleader on the other side, good person to take out. And Jag is a good person to take out because Blue would be lost without him. I think you could argue that Riley would as well. I mean, they're super, super tight. So Izzy's like, I know, like a lot of people are saying that Luke should go next, but I think that we should keep him around. He's harmless and he's the other side of the house's next target. That's a good point. I mean, if you keep Luke around, you're keeping a shield in front of your alliance. You don't need to be doing the dirty work of the other side of the house, right? Or we're lagging. We're lagging. I'm sorry. I hope it catches up quickly. Yeah, so Izzy says it's really imperative for someone. Do I need to pause? Is this going to catch up? Let me pause for a second. It's better now? I'm just going to like chill for a second. Okay, you fixed. We're good. Okay. So anyway, Izzy says it's imperative for someone from their group to win the next HOH. Okay. I mean, that goes without saying, right? So Sari and Heisum have a quick chat in the kitchen. And of course, Heisum is talking about Corey and how dangerous he is. So he brings up something very specific. He says that the photographer during the swimsuit photo shoot told Corey to loosen up because he was too stiff, too tense. And Heisum says Corey holds a lot of tension in his body. He's uncomfortable talking to people. I mean, this is definitely an interesting thing to take into account for sure. I mean, Heisum is looking at everything, right? He's watching the HOH to see who's going in and out of there. He's listening to hear who's going into the diary room a lot. And he's listening to what the photographer's saying. So, anyway, Sari agrees, yes, Corey is definitely dangerous. However, I think the other side of the house is just placating him for now. She doesn't feel like Corey is fully part of that core on the other side. Lammy, come here. Sari says when we win HOH, not if, when. And then Heisum kind of finishes her thought. We need to take out a big player from the other side. So he's thinking like, who is the linchpin over there? And Sari says, I think it's Riley. I mean, she definitely does unite a lot of the people on the other side. Sari says somebody was starting to come over, so they had to wrap it up. But Sari tells Heisum, look, if we don't talk for a bit, I want you to know we're solid. You don't have to worry. And she did say something similar to Red a little bit earlier. So she doesn't want to be caught talking to all of her people all the time. All right. So then Izzy is checking in with Jared, and she's going over her plan if one of them wins HOH. So she's saying, I think that we should put Luke and Corey up on the block. Come here. And Riley would be the backdoor option. This doesn't seem like the best plan to me. But I do have to say, an Izzy HOH would be an absolutely wild roller coaster ride, and I would love to see it. It'd be nuts. Izzy says we can tell Corey he's the pawn and that we need him to do this if he wants to work with us. Yeah, that always goes over well. And then if he doesn't win the power veto, he would be the one going home. So Jared's like, why don't we wait until one of us wins HOH and then we could go from there. So Izzy says another idea she has. We should continue to push with the other side that Luke needs to be the next one to go. And I feel like, yes, this is smart, right? Because you want to make sure if the other side wins HOH, they'll still want to target Luke and not your alliance. Another Izzy idea. She wants to make a fake final two with Mimi to make sure that Mimi is locked in with their side. She lost me again. I just feel like that's too much. Like, you don't need to do that. Izzy is doing the most. Okay. Meanwhile, we've got Sari chatting with Corey, putting in work to try and pull him in. So Sari's like, I gotta be honest, I was a little bit nervous when I came in here. I didn't know how I would be received by you since you know so much about my Survivor history. And she's like, yeah, I play the game, but I am as loyal as they come. And Corey's like, I know, I respect you, but I am also terrified of you. So Corey says, clearly there have been a lot of people in and out of the HOH room, right? He's got to admit that because they're talking about the power structure. And Corey is trying to figure out where everybody thinks he stands with said power structure. So Corey says, my pitch to Riley when I was up on the block was, we're both from Nashville. I help you. Or sorry, you help me. I help you. And that's that. He says he feels like he's outside of the power structure. I think he might just be saying this. I think he does feel somewhat included, maybe not as tight in the core as he wants to be, but I'm sure he's downplaying in front of Sari. But he says that group thinks that they have me. And he says, yes, I do owe Riley for taking me off the block. but not like the rest of everybody. Okay. So Cerie says, I want you to know I am open to working with you. And Corey says, yeah, Izzy and Jared have both talked to me about it a bit. Sounds cool. Cerise says, I wouldn't target you if I win HOH. He did not really reciprocate that, I have to say. But Corey says he would be really nervous if Heisum were to win HOH. Yeah, you should be, because Heisum is coming for you. But Cerise says, I will help you with Heisum. Good luck with that. She says, honestly, she thinks Heisum just thinks that Corey is with the other side, which he is. And Heisum thinks that Corey feels he owes the other side since he came off the block. But Corey clarifies again, he only really owes Riley, not everybody else. So he says he likes the idea of the two of them, Jared and Izzy, together. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. But anyway, now we've got Izzy and Heisum chatting in the backyard. So they're checking in on the Blue situation, right? There was the talk of that potential alliance forming between Blue, Izzy, and Heisum, but they agree they are fully done with Blue. I've heard Izzy say this a few times already, so I don't know. Is it like Elton John saying he's retired from touring and then he does like 5 more farewell tours? Who knows? But they agree they can talk to Blue like they're a trifecta, but they won't actually be sharing anything on their end. You know, Blue can do all of the talking and think that they're together. But Izzy is also saying, like, we should wait for her to come to us. We don't need to be the ones trying to make this happen. And Heisum's like, I don't know. I think it could be good for us to approach her about this trifecta. Like, let's make it look like we're desperate. Let's make it look like she's outplaying us and make her feel like she's a better player than us. And Izzy's like, I don't know. I need to think about it more. We'll touch base on it again. All right. So then a little later, Riley checks in with Heisum in the have-not room. Bowie is in there too. Bowie Jane. And Riley says, I am fully on board with the nominations staying the same. She still wants Kirsten to go. She says, I would be very upset if Felicia were to go this week. I think we all would be. I think Felicia is such a gem. She's a once in many seasons type of house guest, and I'm so happy that we get to watch her play this season. But yeah, they all agree they want Felicia to stay, especially Heisum. He has been very vocal about wanting her and the other older house guests to stick around. So Heisum will not be using the power of veto because it's pretty clear that Kirsten will be the one leaving this week. So Riley's like, this is great. Now we can relax for the rest of the week. I wouldn't call what I've seen relaxing. But anyway, eventually Riley starts talking about next week. And she says, you know, if we want another easy week like this one, the house can just target Luke. Boo! No house targets. Boo. Okay, so Riley says, I don't know where Luke stands. He's very vague with me. I don't know if he's really even talked game with anyone or built any relationships. He just doesn't even like seem interested in the game at this point. For real though. So yeah, she's trying to keep that target on Luke. But anyway, Heisum, Izzy, and Blue finally have their meeting in the backyard. And Heisum is like, you know, we're all part of the LGBTQ community. Is there more that we could be doing together, you know, to show how strong we are and everything? And Blue's like, yeah, I would never put either of you up. I would never put either of you in danger. I will always advocate for you guys and protect you. Is she legit about this? Who knows? I think she does want to keep them safe for now. But if push came to shove, I think we know who she would pick, right? She would pick that family style alliance at this point. Heisum says, yes, it would be a very hard thing to do to put either one of them up on the block. But that doesn't mean he wouldn't do it. It was very non-committal on his end. Blue says, at this point, people don't really see us as anything. We got to stay on the down low. Meanwhile, she's told half the house, aka her alliance, that she was going to be pursuing this side alliance. But Blue says, let's keep working with our people that we've already got things with, and then we'll look out for each other. That's like the most non-committal fake ass alliance script. But anyway, later, I just want to mention Izzy was complaining about this meeting to Suri because she told Heisum that she wanted them to let Blue initiate this. She didn't really want to like get into it yet. And here they are having this conversation. But anyway, in other news, we have an 18th house guest. What? His name is Luke. Oh, wait, he's been in the house the whole time? Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Luke decided he should probably start talking to people. He's realizing he's walking into rooms. People are not talking to him. People stop talking. It's really awkward. He doesn't have like a group. He sees other people going off without him. So he's wondering, why are people getting so quiet when I walk into a room? Maybe you're a target because you just work out with Matt all day and make passive aggressive comments at people and all sorts of stuff like that. So Luke was talking to Riley in the HOH room, and they were like having a very surface level game conversation. Riley was like, okay, well, Kirsten's going this week, and then I don't know who the target is for next week. And Luke is like, well, I feel like I'm the next target. He is talking to the person leading the charge against him. That is the irony of the situation. But of course, Riley's like, oh, you're just paranoid. Like, you're not the target. People are not stopping talking when you walk in. We were all eating dinner. So she tells Leek. She tells Luke. Leek. She tells Luke, you need to talk to more people. You need to have more conversations with people. And Luke is like, oh, like game conversations? Come on, man. What? So Riley also advises him, you should probably start paying attention more. Like, you've got to know who's on the block. Because the other day, when Corey came off the block, Luke was like, oh, I forgot you're even up there. So yeah, Luke does go on to say he likes Riley, he likes Matt, he likes Corey. Maybe they can like get something going. I don't know. All right. Who's Luke? So then Heisum and Felicia have a game chat, and they are realizing that Jag might be the best person to target from the other side. Both Blue and Riley have said to many, many people, many times, that Jag is their number one. So if you take out Jag, that other side might start to crumble. And they feel like Jag might have to be backdoored if he is going to be the target, because he's a strong competitor. All right. So then, I mean, I agree with it. Sorry, the sigh was because I'm tired. But Heisum was also talking about how he wants to bring Jared into their group. He feels like Jared could be really good for them. He could be good in competitions, even though he sucked in the first one on premiere night. But he sees that Jared has those connections on the other side of the house, so he can bring intel over to their side. So he's asking Felicia, like, do you think you could talk to Jared and try and like pull him over, and then maybe Suri could talk to him as well and like really seal the deal? He says that will bring us to 8. That's a good number. He doesn't even realize that Jared is loyal to their side already because his mommy's over there. But yeah, again, it is bridging that gap. And Heisum is seeing like, okay, Jared is with us. He could be good for us. Okay. So then Suri and Izzy have a chat in the bathroom. And Suri is like, I think the game was really starting to get to us. I think we were being paranoid. Maybe there wasn't actually a backdoor plan after all. Also, there was this whole thing. So I told you Luke was getting paranoid because he was walking into rooms and people were not talking. One of those situations, Suri and Izzy had walked into the room like after Luke, I guess, and they were thinking like, why is no one talking? So they thought it was because of them. So they were getting paranoid about that. So they were asking around about it, being like, Bowie, you were there. Like, what happened in the room? Why did everyone stop talking? And she was saying, like, it was because Luke was freaking out, being all paranoid. And as they're asking more and more people about that situation, they're realizing, okay, people's stories are matching up. So Suri's like, I think we were just freaking out. And she tells Izzy, slap me if that happens again, right? We don't need to be getting paranoid like that. All right. So then Izzy is like getting emotional. She's telling Suri, I'm not just a fangirl. Like, I really want to work with you and Jared. I want to get to the end with you guys. And Suri is reassuring her, what we have is real. You don't have to worry. I know that you are genuine and you want to work with us. I owe you my life in this game. Like, you could have blown up our relationship on day one. So Izzy is emotional. She's crying. But then, like, she would go from that to like laughing hysterically. This girl needs some sleep. She needs to stop and she needs to sleep. So they talk about drinking some sleepy time tea to get that sleep. But yeah, Izzy's not done yet. She is not going to bed yet. She put in some work with Luke because now she knows that Luke is worried and realizing he should talk game with people. He is entertaining game conversations. So she gets in there. She's keeping it casual. She's like, everybody's voting the same way this week. So it doesn't really matter. But next week, you and I should vote together. And then we should go from there, see what's up. She says, I like you. I think you're fun. And if I win HOH, you're good with me. So Luke seems receptive to this. I mean, he says she's like the first person that's talked game with him like this. So I'm sure he's like ready for anything, right? So Izzy is also like, don't tell any of the people upstairs about this conversation or else I'm going to be really mad and I'm not going to protect you anymore. So of course the people upstairs, that's the family style alliance. They've been spending a lot of time upstairs and not seeming to care that people are putting the pieces together, even if Jared didn't spill about that alliance. But anyway, Izzy is like to Luke, I want to flip the power in this house. So like, let's do this. Okay. So Jared later reinforced the game talk with Luke. He's like, yeah, Izzy's awesome. Like, this is great, blah, blah, blah. And it seems to be resonating with Luke, who again doesn't really have anybody at this point. Okay, so guess what? Riley and Jag took notice of Izzy having a one-on-one with Luke. Riley was ranting to Jag about Luke's backhanded compliments, which there were multiple. She thinks he's super paranoid, and she still wants him out next week. So Jag is like, well, why don't we take him out this week instead? The veto ceremony hasn't happened yet. Kirsten, if she stays, would be thankful. She'd be loyal to us. And Riley's like, no way. Kirsten's got to go this week. Also, like, there's no way that Heisum uses the power veto. He's still paranoid that there was a plan to backdoor Suri. You really think he's going to take kindly to being asked to use that veto now? No. No way. But yeah, they start talking about how they feel like Izzy has the potential to unite the other side against them. I mean, they already saw her working on Luke. She doesn't waste any time. They have no idea the other side is already united. But yeah, they're worrying, like, are people figuring out our 8-person alliance? Like, we're not very good at keeping the secret. Yeah, damn right you're not. I mean, they made it very obvious. Plus, Jared is in their alliance. Jared, Suri's son. So, that's part of it. But anyway, at one point last night, Riley is breaking down. She's crying because of the stress. She's like, I feel like I'm under fire. Everyone's coming in here asking who I'm working with. And she wasn't even talking about Felicia in that moment. She was talking about like Red asking, are you working with this person, this person, this person? Even Luke, when she was talking to him, was like, who are you working with? Blah, blah, blah. So she feels like she's just constantly got people coming at her. Honestly, I think part of it too is because her HOH power is now gone, right? Heisum is not going to use that veto. So her reign is pretty much over, right? She's just chilling in that HOH room. She doesn't have any more power this week. So I think it's getting to her. She's realizing this alliance that we built is not as secret as we had originally planned. But yeah, Jag then starts trying to convince Riley to backdoor Izzy this week. He's like, she is such a problem for us already. Why not just like nip it in the bud, take her out now? And Riley was like, no, like Heisum wouldn't be into that. We can't do it. So then Jag is like, well, don't tell Heisum. We'll blindside Izzy and Heisum. No, it's not happening. There's no way. Riley is also terrified that if she were to make a huge move like that week one, she would be the next target next week. She'd be out of here. So again, Riley is resisting. She says she would like to see Izzy or Luke go next week, though. She is not feeling Izzy at this point. All right. Meanwhile, on the other side of the house, we've got the birth of the professors. It's basically the Bye Bye Bitches plus Red and Heisum. So we have Cerie, Felicia, Nicole, Red, Izzy, Bowie, and Heisum. And they're called the professors because they're taking the kids to school. But they're all like, there's no hierarchy. Everyone is equal. Let's do this. I like this alliance a lot. I think it's awesome. I just hope that they're going to be able to win competitions, right? To make these moves that they're planning. Also, last night, I believe Felicia dropped her microphone in the toilet again. Oh my God. So that's 4 microphones that she's broken now. The last time I saw her last night, she had plastic wrapped around her microphone pack. I'm just so curious, like, how much that has cost production now to bust 4 microphones. Absolutely wild. So that was all last night. And then today, they had the power veto ceremony. So as planned, Heisum did not use the power veto, which means that Kirsten and Felicia remain up on the block. At this point, it looks like Kirsten's definitely going to be going. And at this point, it looks like it's going to be unanimous. I don't know if anybody would dare try to throw a hinky vote in there to mess with things. I feel like for this kind of vote, no. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but probably not. But we've got 3 days left until the eviction. You never know what could happen. So we'll see if Kirsten's able to rally any votes or anything. I'm going to guess no. But again, you never know. Hello? I hear footsteps.
I'm coming.
She's coming. All right. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want, where's your, oh, hi.
Oh,
People were missing that.
hi.
Yeah.
I'm just like contemplating dinner at 9:00 tonight.
It's a lot. It's already pretty late. So
Yeah.
I want to thank all of our super chatters so much because we couldn't do this without you. Andres Lombaria, thank you so much. He says, hope you're having a nice day. Love these videos. Thank you so much. Mondays are just hectic. That's just the nature
Where's
of the
Lynn?
beast. I think she went out when you came in.
Oh, really?
I think so.
You didn't see her?
Yeah, she was having a good time in here though.
I saw that.
Yeah, Mondays are insane. No, it's not 9 p.m. over here right now, but by the time like dinner's all sorted out, it probably will be. Andres,
It's not
thank
gonna
you
cook
again.
itself, damn it.
Yeah. Mary Ellen L, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. Jefferson says, so glad you are here. I had to turn the chaos off last night. It's like brain scrambling after a while, right? And these people are saying, I'm so late. It's so late on the East Coast.
Go to bed, Wig.
Yeah, at a certain point, you just have to turn it off and be like, I'll catch up in the morning when they're all sleeping. But then the early risers wake up and you want to watch them live. It's hard. It's hard being a live feedster. But anyway, thank you. Christine, thank you so much. Christine says, I'm late, so I don't know if you talked about this, but Heisum called Luke Kyle last night. I about died. That's so funny because from the cast reveal, from the jump, we were like, oof, we're kind of getting Kyle vibes off of Luke here. Right? I don't know it's a one-to-one necessarily, but like definitely see some similarities. Anyway, thank you again, Christine. Samantha MC, thank you so much for the super chat. Samantha says, thank you for always giving me daily updates on Big Brother. You're welcome. We really appreciate you being here. Drake Bot, thank you so much. Drake says, thanks for making these. Whenever you say Bowie Jane, I jump because I think you're talking about Bowie the dog for a second. Keep it up. Every time I hear somebody on the feeds talk about Bowie, I'm like, why are you talking about my dog? He's such a good boy, though. Anyway, yes, I would like to see more Bowie Jane game action, right? I want to see her get in there. She hasn't really done all that much yet. I mean, which is not a bad thing for her game-wise, right?
She's a total Gen City.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm hoping she'll get into it, though, like as she learns more about the game. Catherine, thank you so much for the super chat. Catherine says, I'm so glad you're not only focusing on Cerie's game. Oh, I'm trying. I mean, of course, I want to watch Cerie like all day because it's fascinating to watch her work. But there's so much going on in this house. You got to look at the full picture, right? It's a great cast overall. Kenny D, thank you so much. Oh my God, so generous. We really appreciate that. Kenny D says Family Style versus Riley, Jag, Blue, and who? Riley, Jag, Blue, they're all in Family Style. I know you're busy with your grandkids. Congrats on number 2. Yeah, but they're all part of Family Style, unless I'm misinterpreting your comment. So it's Family Style versus the professors.
I think Kenny D means, is there a swing person in Family Style?
Well, Jared is actually with the professors, right?
Oh.
But yeah, I might have misinterpreted what you're asking, but thank you again so much. The G of Guthrie, thank you for your super chat. And the G of Guthrie says, fingers crossed Felicia is the new Rennie. Woo! Right? Oh my God, they're both so fun. I'm just so excited that we have Felicia in our lives right now.
Yeah.
Absolute joy to watch.
I really, really, really enjoy her.
Yeah, she's kind of reminding me, not personality-wise or anything, but just like the specialness of her, of like when we had Chris Kattan on Celebrity.
Yeah.
That's just like the vibe I'm getting. So hopefully she'll stick around for a while. But anyway, that's all we got. It was a lot. I hope you're able to process and digest all of that. I know I just threw a lot at you, but we will be back tomorrow with another spoiler. Oh, Bowie!
Oh, it's Bowie Jane.
Bowie Jane's here. Bowie, come say hello. Come say hello before we say goodbye.
Says, I'm Bowie Stardust.
Bowie Stardust, come here. Baby, come here. Come here. He's smiling. He doesn't want to come over here. That's fine. But thank you all so much for being here. We will see you tomorrow. And until then, much love. Bye, everybody. Bark, bark.